things are not what they seem. In the news, in media, shit is never what the fuck it seems, right? And I want you to know that people definitely portray the media, whatever image they want to give to you. You're not behind the scenes. You don't have the evidence. You don't know what the fuck they say and if it's true or not. We just take the word of the police department. I think it was really interesting that they had a black officer speaking to the situation. I've told y'all that's a tactic too, right? You get a black person to speak to black people, and it's a whole hell of a lot easier for black people to receive it. You know, if they had a white officer up there, a white lieutenant, a white sergeant giving you all of the information, you might have been like, man, fuck out of here, right? But they gave you a black man to say it. It was like, look, black folk, I want y'all to know this is a fact. I don't give a fuck what anybody tell me. This is a fact, right? They was like, look, black people is mad. Black people have continued to say that they believe that the department has something to do with this man's death. So we need you to go up there, black man. We need you to talk to the people, right? Because they will receive it much easier. Because if white people say it to them, they're gonna be like, y'all full of shit. So I just want y'all to know that they used the black officer on purpose. They wasn't gonna let a white officer or a non-black officer release that information to us because psychologically, it's a whole lot easier for us to swallow. Okay, so just understand that. So before we get into this, y'all do me a favor. I didn't get no notifications, so I don't know if they went out, if they didn't, but y'all hit that like button, right? Because y'all hit that like button, it brings more people in. It goes down their suggestion feed. Of course, with that being said, we'll get a whole lot of people in here who don't want to be here, you know, who gonna say dumb shit. But we deal with that every night, so who give a fuck, right? So y'all like this for me. Y'all share this video. Subscribe to this channel if you have not already, and hit that notification bell. So when YouTube not hating, you know, you'll get your notification. And when they is hating, I don't know to tell you, just, you know, to come through your feed later and you can watch it. So y'all do that for me. Shout out to those that gave donations. Somebody gave a donation. I seen it, but it just crossed my mind. I usually shout y'all out. Shout out to Let's Get Free. Thank you for that. And whoever donated earlier, I think I saw one go through when I first got on. I don't know if it's Sherry is in the house, but shout out to Sherry. It's her birthday today. I did not forget yesterday, right? And so shout out to Sherry. Y'all give Sherry some birthday love, whether she in here or not. I'm sure she gonna watch this eventually. If she hasn't showed up, should be here soon. And if she watches this later, she get to see all the birthday love. So shout out to the queen. Happy birthday to you. You know, as white folks like to tell you, but I want to tell you happy born day, happy Earth Day, right? You know, I hope that it has been a wonderful year for you. And I just, you know, hope many blessings come to you in your life and that these next years are more wonderful than this year has been for you, right? So happy birthday to you with your wonderful name. Same name as my mama. So let me say that first and foremost, and I will get into the donations, but I'm going to do that actually at the end of this video before I get out of here. So let's talk about this, you guys, right? So we have this young man, you know, and we know all these details as far as, you know, he was murdered a couple of days after the situation with him testifying and Amber Geiger getting 10 years. Let me bring up something about that too with this judge. I don't know if any of you have seen that. This whole fucking case is it's a mess. It's a mess. Everybody need their ass beat. Everybody, from the judge to the family members. And you're going to be like, well, you can't say that about the family members. That's the fuck I can. They on some bullshit too. They forgiving everybody, but they ain't forgiving enough that they not fucking suing for a check. So miss me with that bullshit. Botham Jean family. Some people might say that's disregarding and disrespectful. It's just fucking truth, okay? But I need everybody in this motherfucking case to just fucking get slapped. So as I said before, she is under investigation, not like you can go to jail investigation, but being investigated by an organization. They're calling an investigation against her, right? Shout out to you, Marv. Thank you for that. And whoever gave the $5 before that and the $10, shout out to y'all for the donations. Thank you. But she is under investigation as far as, you know, her practices of what she did in the courtroom between separation of church and state. So people are calling her down for that, right? But she has spoken about the reason why she did what she did, why she gave the Bible, why she gave the hugs. I really wasn't concerned in her explanation for why she was giving out hugs and why she was giving out Bibles. I was more interested in what I read in the second part of that article. How many of you missed it? Because people don't seem to be talking about that. But this judge actually did say, right? She did say that there was something she did in the case and she's not sure if it will cause an appeal. So bitch, you do something that might cause an appeal. You knew that it could, and then you admit to the fact that you did the shit. How many of y'all caught that? So let's talk about that real quick, right? What she said is that there was testimony that could have been given stating that they believe that, I don't know who the fuck these people were. So go read the article. There was, I guess, obviously some witnesses or somebody that could have testified on the behalf, or they had written statements. I don't know what capacities these people were. Maybe they were like experts for the defense or some shit like that. But she said that they stated that they believed the way that things went down, that her claim of self-defense was very believable, right? And so, not to say that it would have made a difference, but that's not what appeals are about. We don't know if it would have made a difference, but what she said is that she did not allow the jury to hear those things. She did not present them with those expert witnesses' opinions, right? So you do know that, just like she knows, she said in the article her fucking self, she does not know if that will cause an appeal. So then you do some shit that you already know you shouldn't do because it can cause an appeal. And then you admit to the shit in a fucking article. So what you're really doing, bitch, is just saying to them, see, Amber, you know, I hooked you up, girl. You know what I'm saying? Matter of fact, I did do a couple of things. I did do a couple of things that might help to cause an appeal. I mean, I don't know if it will, but I'm just saying, what kind of shit is that? What kind of fucking shit is that? I want y'all, see, we paid attention to why she was hugging and giving out motherfucking Bibles. Y'all seem to miss her admitting to the fact she did something that could cause an appeal. Because hugging Amber couldn't cause no appeal, but definitely not giving all of the evidence, all of the testimony that was available to the jurors for them to make their decision could definitely cause an appeal. And we know, as well as all these other news stories going around, that her team is filing an appeal. That has already been stated, right? That they're filing an appeal. So I told y'all from the beginning, I called this shit. I told y'all that in the way all of this shit went down and all of that sympathy, at this point, if you are a judge and you understand that doing shit that can cause an appeal, you did it, and then you admitted to doing it when nobody even called you on it. Like it's like you just gave the evidence to her attorneys. Look, guess what? I did some fuck shit. Y'all want to use this? So I know that your hugs now was because that's your home girl. It wasn't that you're a Christian. It was that she's a police officer and you're not really a Black woman. What you are first is a woman that is down with the fucking justice system. You down with the police officer union, not the union, the fucking whatever the fuck they is, organization, club, fucking thugs, the gang. The gang of the police have endorsed this woman and she down with them. So she put in the work for one of her team members, one of her gang members, to make sure that they could be in this position, right? And guess what? Joshua Brown comes up killed. I told you there's going to be an appeal. Now, yes, you can use this man's testimony later on, but do you really think that stating what he said in a written thing for the jurors to look at, or even if it, do you think it's going to have as much effect as this man sitting in the room like his first testimony? Abusive discretion. Penny said that shout out to you for the donation. She said her errors are called abusive discretion. She may have made an error in ruling on evidence to be presented by excluding it. And when Penny throws some law stuff out there, I'm shut up and I listen to her. But she's right. This is what the judge said herself. Because Penny's been a judge for many years and she is an attorney. And so she knows what she's talking about. So I didn't even know that this woman did this. I don't think anybody else knew this woman that was a judge did this. But she definitely admitted that she excluded some evidence that could have, been given to the jury. So, that's to me, that's like a clean cut case for an appeal. Clean cut case for an appeal. And maybe even a mistrial. If I'm wrong, Penny, let me know. But maybe even a mistrial because you said this trial wasn't conducted in the manner it should be. I want a whole new trial all over again. You know what I'm saying? Not even just appealing the sentence, appealing the fact that I got found guilty. You withheld this evidence, and if you had put it in, I might not have been found guilty. I want a whole new goddamn trial. Y'all just wait and let's see how it all plays out, right? And then here we have this wonderful coincidence that this main witness in the trial is murdered 2-3 days later. Okay. Now let's pay attention to what they said in these articles. That first, the media was trying to project, and they're still using it, which just makes no sense to me because we're going to talk like we do every night up in here, right? With logic and some understanding and breaking some things down. It just simply says, well, this doesn't make any sense when you listen to this versus this. So they're saying when it first happened, what did they say? We have no motives. We have no suspects. We don't know what the fuck going on at all. Right? Then this big uproar came from the Black community. We don't trust you. We think that y'all killed this man because of him testifying. So now, do you think how many Black people get killed in the hood all day long for drug deals and nobody never get arrested. Y'all worked the fuck out this case, Dallas PD. Y'all got that. Y'all in less than so many hours, y'all just got people just locked up, warrants out. You just got the whole story down. Whoa, that was some fast moving in this bitch. That was like some 48. That was a successful 48-hour episode, was it not? Y'all didn't have no answers. Now y'all got all the answers. Okay, let's say y'all got all the answers. In 48 hours, y'all ended up finding out all this information and y'all didn't have one inkling of what the fuck was going on in less than 48 hours ago. But okay. Y'all got some evidence, and y'all telling us this boy was killed for a drug deal, right? They were exchanging drugs. But we're gonna break this down a little more. But before we do that, let's just talk about the article. So you tell us that this boy was murdered for that, but then in the same article, you still bring up the fact of a post, because I've read the articles, I've read several of them. All of them didn't do it, but many of them did. And one thing they kept bringing up was that even he had people that were looking for him that wanted to kill him, because last year he was in a shooting incident and he made a post saying that, so they used his own post from his own page where he said somebody was trying to come for him, right? His friend got shot in the head, he got shot in the foot or the ankle. I've heard the foot, then I've heard the ankle. Fuck the media, they just say whatever, they'll never get their facts straight, but we just believe them because they the white man's media, so we just think all their facts is just right. But they sit up here and they say to you, so the question is, if you have learned that this was a drug deal, and if this is the truth, and he got killed in this drug deal, then why are you still bringing up the post from last year? Because that means if he got killed in a drug deal for some brothers who drove from Louisiana to buy drugs from him, that would mean the implication that people who was trying to kill him a year ago are still trying to kill him would be very invalid at this point. Why are we still bringing it up? I'm glad y'all asked me. It's all about demeaning a man's character. What they are trying to tell you is that at the end of the day, even though this young boy showed up with this shirt on that shows the youth that's still in him at the trial, even though he had to have a break in between, even though he cried, even though they had to stop what was going on because this boy was so upset, they want you to understand, like they do to all Black people, that even though he is the victim right now, they need you to know that he's a thug-ass victim. You shouldn't cry for him because his life ain't worth much. And just like the rest of these niggas that we go around here crying and trying to fight for their rights, most of them ain't nothing but thugs and drug dealers and killers that run in these streets. So this is what they're trying to do. This is what they've done a million times. They are tarnishing this boy's image, right? Because as I said, I'm going to say it again for those that missed it the first time. If you know what happened to him, and this is the truth, then that means the situation from a year ago has nothing to do with this. So why do you continue to bring it into the story? Shout out to you, Sherry in the house. I don't know if you was late, but we sent you a whole lot of birthday love. You ain't get it. Birthday love back to you again, sis. Happy birthday, Sherry. Sherry's in the house now, y'all. So understand, that's one thing that I noticed. I was like, well, why the fuck are they still bringing this up? Okay. Let me say this too. For people who are running around here saying that maybe it was from what happened last year, how many of y'all know that if you do some dirt in the hood and somebody want to kill you, unless they die or they go to jail, it don't take them a whole year to get your ass. Usually when a brother is beefing with somebody else and they watching their back real heavy because they know somebody coming for them, it's a matter of a couple days, a couple weeks. If they coming for your ass, they coming for your ass. Gangsters ain't in the hood. It's not waiting no whole year just to shoot your ass when you steady walking around the same hood. Thank you. I got some real Black people in this house. Some real folks who know what the fuck I'm saying. That don't even make no sense. So I don't even know why we pulled this shit out our ass, because some Black people did it too. And other folks tried to make it seem like, oh, well, that people was coming for him. He had enemies. Folks tried to kill him last year. So it's been a year. Why he ain't dead? Because Black folks is not waiting for you for a whole motherfucking year before they come get you. The next time they see you in the hood, you at the corner store, wherever they see your ass, at the ball court, it's on. It wouldn't have taken no year. So come on, that don't even make no fucking sense. They just talk about the shit that don't make sense, first of all, right? Don't make no damn sense. That's not how this works. You remember them white ladies in that commercial? She put the pictures up talking about she was posting them. Well, that's not how any of this works. That's not how any of this works. Yet and still they feed it to us and we believe it, even though knowing how we live our lives in our communities, we know that this shit is not true because that's just not how it goes down. So now that we've gotten that little bullshit out the way, let's talk about what they are saying, right? So they're saying that, first of all, he was doing a drug deal a couple blocks away from his house. Sounds reasonable, right? I mean, if you're gonna sell drugs to somebody, you shouldn't, serve them in front of your house. You should meet them like down in the parking lot, a couple blocks down the street. So it sounds reasonable, right? And then they tell you that these three brothers drove from Louisiana to get some weed. Because they did say that when they went to Brown's house, that's what they found was weed. So you mean to tell me this day and age, where weed is everybody in everybody's face everywhere, like it's so many cities you can go into and just breathe and get high. So weed is just everywhere. So these motherfuckers drove from Louisiana to buy some weed? Really? There was no weed in Louisiana nowhere? I'm just saying, I want y'all to think about this, right? So they drove all this way. This is not 15 years ago now, y'all. This is not 20 years ago when Negroes was driving to get to connect and they was, stuffing weed and pounds of weed in the back of the seats of the trunk. And when the shit come down and putting shit in the tire wheels, like this is not that day no more. So they drove that way for some weed. Okay. Okay. Sounds reasonable, don't it, y'all? Okay. So they drove all this way to come get some damn weed. And then they get in the parking lot and something goes horribly wrong. Because you mean to tell me these motherfuckers drove all this way to get some weed. We got the money and he came with the weed. He got the weed. He want the money. They want the weed. Usually the only time drug deals go wrong is when somebody's trying to rob you and they don't want to give you the money for the drugs, or either they try and take your money without giving you the drugs. Don't seem like that's went down. It seemed like they acting like they had the money and he had the drugs. So what the fuck is the problem? Most of those drug deals go down like this. All right, homie, you got the money. Yeah, here you go. All right, you look in the bag. You look at your shit. You hope it's all there. If it was a dope sale, you might pull out your little scale, make sure your shit weigh. They count their money and you dap each other up and you be on your way. That's how most drug deals happen. Okay? Unless somebody's trying to rob somebody off the rip, they was coming to rob this dude, right? But they had the money. And he had the drugs according to their own, according to the information that they gave us. I'm just going by the police information. Shit don't make no sense to me. Okay. So the EMT said that this man was shot in his mouth. And then later, and the EMTs are the first ones on the scene. But now later that it's in the police hands and it's in the hands of the coroner, and they're looking at this man's body. Now they want you to know that he got shot in his lower region. Well, which one is it? You see how the story keeps changing? Now, they do have a young man in custody. Let's talk about that. They have a young man in custody. I believe he's 20 years old. I wasn't paying attention to the name. So if you want the specifics in the name, you go watch CNN and NBC, because it doesn't matter to me what their names are. It matters to me what they are as a human being, what is projected and what it is that they're trying to say. These are black men. This is a black man that was murdered. I don't know what their names is. Now, so white folks do some shit that's foul, I'm going to get their names right and call them motherfuckers out. But when they black, I don't know. I wasn't paying that much attention to their name. You want to know their names? Go look it up. The boy is about 20 years old, I believe they said he was. And apparently they got into this argument. And so he pulled out a gun and he shoot him once in the chest. And then he pulls out his gun and apparently he shoots Joshua Brown twice in his lower region, is what they say. Shout out to you, James. Thank you for that donation. So this is what they say happened. And so then they say, though, wait a minute, that one of the other assailants grabbed the bag with the proof that he had some drugs ready to sell them and his gun. Because my first thought when I read that was, well, where the fuck is the gun? If he shot them, where's the gun? Well, apparently to convenience, one of the motherfuckers who got away that they looking for, because the only reason they got one is because he's in the hospital shot. And so he had to go to the hospital and they dropped him off. But the other person decided to take his gun and to take his bag, right? So they ran off with all this shit. So this is the story. Okay? So this is what they want us to believe, is this what happened. Let me tell you something. I can't state facts because I wasn't there. I don't know. But I will tell you this. Don't get it twisted, because even if that man did shoot him, how do we know that somebody didn't send them for him? They came all the way from Louisiana. For what? For weed? I don't fucking believe that. I don't believe they drove all that way. And see, what we don't seem to realize is that they do work very well in covering their tracks. Do you think that a police officer dressed in blue walked up to some brothers and said, yo, you think you could put a hit on this dude? No. They go and get somebody, that go get somebody, that go get somebody, like these informants they have working in the streets for you. And then they say to you, we need you to do a hidden because it's for the right people. We will make sure that you have your back covered and you won't go to jail for this, right? And then it goes wrong because what you don't know is that little Joshua packing. Little Joshua shoot one of you motherfuckers. And now you're in the hospital. So now what we gonna do? Well, we got black dudes to do the job. So guess what? We got them to do it, but we can also throw them under the bus and blame everything on them, even though we told them that they could get away with it. Now I know that that's a far jump. That's a far reach if I don't have that information, right? I'm just speculating, and you would be right if you said that. But let me tell you some stories. It's story time, y'all. So I want to leave y'all with a couple other stories that the police have covered up to a much greater extent and that police have done, and the ability that this government has to project shit like this and cover shit up and make it look like whatever the fuck they want it to look like, okay? Let's not get it twisted. Let's understand too, for a lot of our black leaders that have been killed in the community by other black people, we do know that there were entities behind those black people that had them murdered, even though it was a black person that pulled the trigger. Do we not know that? So please understand that just because it's a black person that did it, if somebody shot him, that there wasn't other entities behind it. Please don't believe that lie. I don't believe none of this shit. I don't believe nothing they say, and if nothing else, I want y'all, see, I want us to go to extreme opposite. This is what I want us to do. We have believed everything the fucking media feeds us. We believe everything that the government feeds us. And if you want another word for government, it's AKA white supremacy. When we say who is white supremacy, are you talking about that white guy that lives next door? Now, he has white privilege, but he may not be able to absorb white supremacy with his white ass, but he got white privilege, right? But the white supremacists are the ones who put us in the situations we are, who have the upper hand, who work in this country under the government based on the fucking racist ass constitution that was built on a racist ass motherfucking platform, right? So this is what they've done. So when I say white supremacy, these are the people that I'm talking about. So we believe white supremacy because media is an entity of white supremacy. It is also controlled by white supremacy. So if you're going to get into the media game, you're going to either play by the government's rules or either you're not going to end up with a station like Bill Cosby, right? You do have a black man that owns the weather station and the weather channel, but is he really out here giving some real information to black people? Because media is one of the most powerful weapons that they use against us. So if you're going to come play in this game, then you got to be willing to ride with us, or either you got to go. When I say play that game, they will get, they have the media project you what they want. They don't give you the uncut real story. And I'm going to tell you a story in a minute to show you just how much they be fucking lying. So I just want you to take all of this home and just say, you know, Arsenio Hall used to say them things that make you go, you know what I'm saying? Just think about this shit a little bit, okay? We used to be on the extreme where we believe everything that the media tells us. If CNN said it, NBC said it, Fox said it, we believe it's the truth because the news gave it to us. They even showed us pictures. They gave us evidence. They give you all this shit to say, well, they must be telling the truth. They're the biggest fucking liars there are. So I would ask black people that there's some shit they tell you we believe that's a lie. So I want y'all to go to the other extreme. I want you to believe nothing that you are told by the media, nothing you're told by the police, nothing you're told by this government. Believe none of it. Shout out to you, Des James. Thank you for that. Believe nothing. Go to the other extreme. Now, and believing nothing, will there be some things that are true and you don't believe them? Absolutely. But you know how much shit you believe that's a lie? So let's just go the other extreme. Don't believe anything these motherfuckers tell you, right? Let me tell you a story about a man called David Koresh. How many of y'all remember David Koresh in the Branch Davidians? And these are white people that I'm about to tell you about. But I just want to show you how lying your motherfucking government is. Y'all remember the Branch Davidians? Well, the Branch Davidians was a group of people. Shout out to you, Alex. Thank you for that. Thank you. Thank you for the compliment. So the Branch Davidian was a group of people who had their own land, right? Because contrary to popular belief, you know, this government doesn't want anybody to be able to defend themselves and be in a position, yes, in Waco, Texas, and be in a position where they are able to have any type of force against the government if they come to you and try and get your ass, right? They don't want anybody to do that. They don't give a fuck if you white, if you black, or whatever. And so the Branch Davidians had their own land, right? They homeschooled all the kids. They were practicing their right to bear arms. So they had a whole stockpile of motherfucking guns and shit like like that. They weren't trying to listen to the government. They wanted to live off the grid and not have to deal with this bullshit, right? They had their own food. They had their own water. They had all of that shit. So they did not have to depend on this government. The government needs you to depend on them. And if you ever try to go off the grid, they don't like that shit. And if you do it in too large numbers, it's a problem. Thank you. And thank you for that donation, Mom for Babies. Thank you for that. So understand that they were upset about this situation. Now, most of you probably remember the story. Let me tell you what the media told us about the Branch Davidians, right? What they told us was that David Koresh and the Branch Davidians were a ridiculous group of people who were like, you know, terrorist ass people who believe crazy shit, right? But you can live on your own land and not fuck with nobody. So what they did was they said that David Koresh had charges against him of messing with the children that were on the compound, right? So then they came out and they said, we're going to serve a warrant to this man for these charges of molestation and sexually assaulting these children that he has in this compound. So the police show up. The news media is there, and they show you David Koresh at the front door. They show you the police hiding behind their cars because they say they're being shot at by the people in the house. They later told you that everybody in the house hid themselves in an underground bunker and set the house on fire because they committed suicide, because that was the pact that they wanted them to have, because they wanted to give you that, what was that man, Jonestown? They wanted you to believe that David Koresh was crazy and he made everybody drink the Kool-Aid. So let's just go in this underground bunker and we just gonna kill ourselves. Now, wait a minute, the police is only here for you know, David Koresh. They here to save everybody else in the house, right? And so you watch the news, you watch this standoff for days, you watch the police out there for a couple of days. They show you things like, how many of you remember the very famous scene where there were 2 ATF agents on a roof? And somebody from inside of the house shot outside the window, and that ATF agent, he got shot in his head. No, it was one on the roof. Let me get this right. In the media, it was one on the roof. And he got shot in his helmet. It didn't kill him because he had on the helmet. And after that, he just rolled off the roof, got down the ladder, and he left. Go watch the footage of it on YouTube if you think that I'm lying, right? This was the story. So then they all put themselves in this bunker and everybody killed themselves and they set the house on fire. I want to tell you that that is a fucking lie. It is the biggest lie that I've ever seen with my own eyes. I remember being 17 years old, and I may be saying something with conspiracy theories. Maybe these things are out there now, and maybe they're not. Maybe I'm saying something I shouldn't say, but I think I say things I shouldn't say all the time. Ask me if I give a fuck. I don't know if my mom's in the house, but I remember being 17 at the time, and I remember one of my mother's very good friends coming over to the house and saying, Sherry, I got something I want you to take a look at. And they gave us a videotape, and me and my mom, we rolled the joint and we put the tape in and we watched this VHS tape. And I'm gonna tell you what I saw, right? Shout out to you, Black Freedom. And see, so when people tell me, you know, how did I get to where I am? It's been a lifelong journey. A lot of things have happened to me, and I've experienced certain things that have brought me ultimately to where I am. It's not one thing or two things. It's a culmination of the life that I've lived. So 17 years old, I learned how ridiculous and how evil this government was and how much of a liar that they were. So we watched this videotape, and this videotape was a videotape. It was someone who had on a camera. They were watching all of these things that were going on, right? And now this was back when I was 17. Now these things have probably come to light now. And if they're out there, go watch them. I don't know. I saw it at 17, and I didn't need to go see it 10 years later after they told the fucking truth. Let me tell you what they did to David Koresh and the Branch Davidians. I want you to know they killed all of those people in that house. I want you to know that when they started shooting at them, they weren't shooting at them first. So in this video, they actually break down the uncut media version of what happened, and they give you the raw, uncut version of it. So what really happened is that they drove up to the house. David Koresh opened the door to see what the fuck was going on. As soon as David Koresh opened the door, they shot him. I believe he got shot in his leg or his arm, but he wasn't shooting at them. And so then in this video footage, they slow it down because they show the officers in the media that we were watching shooting at the house, saying they were shooting at us. Well, guess what? The media slowed everything down, and they were showing all of the bullets hitting the house, going in the house's direction. And they showed you that there were no motherfucking bullets coming at the police cars, hitting the grounds, and nothing around them. Nothing. So they weren't shooting at them in the house. That's a lie. When he got shot because he came to the door to simply say, look, there are children in here, he was trying to talk to them. They shot his ass as soon as he showed up in the door. So all of that procedure, All of that talking somebody down and you don't just shoot them, that shit just straight went out the window, right? But trust me, it gets worse. So David Koresh is in this house and they're sitting up there all day and all night having this standoff. During the standoff, they have helicopters flying around this house, shining really bright lights in the home. Now, I want you to remember, David Koresh is not the only one in the home. There are children in his home. There are women in his home, people that they claim are innocent ass people in this situation, right? Yes, with the tanks attacking the house. Yes, they did. So let's talk about this. So apparently so many have seen it. So now the truth is already out there. So y'all go look it up and see it and tell me if I'm lying, okay? So they're blasting this loud music, which are torture tactics. They have infrared beams on this house so they can see where everybody is at all times, right? And when they find out, they cut off the power in the house, they cut off the water in the house so nobody can have anything inside of there, right? That doesn't seem really ridiculous. And then what they do after that is, once they realize with the infrared beams that they have over the house, they see that everybody has gone into the underground bunker. There is a staircase above the underground bunker. They have an army tank. The army tank drives into the house and it knocks down the stairwell and everything in front of the underground bunker. So now they're trapped in the bunker. And then after this tanker does this, it shoots fire out the front of the motherfucking tanker and it burns the house down. The government and those police killed everybody in that fucking house except for the few people that got away. The media and the news told you that they were shooting at them all night and day and wouldn't come out. They were actually scared to come outside because when David Koresh tried to come to the door, they shot him. Know that they went there to that place to not leave anybody alive. They didn't go there to arrest any damn body. They went there to kill them all. And that's exactly what they did. So if you were there to save these innocent children, why did you murder them all? David Koresh wasn't the only one in the house. They killed all of those people, y'all. I saw this with my own eyes. And this was media footage, but it was media footage with 90% cut out. Now let's talk about those ATF agents that were on the roof. That famous footage that everybody sees where there's somebody in the house shooting at those ATF agents and he climbs off the ladder and leaves. Well, let me tell you that the real footage shows 3 ATF agents go up on that roof. 3 of them. 2 go into the window inside of the house. As soon as those 2 get inside of the house, you watch the 3rd ATF agent take out their own men. He was given orders to kill them. He turns around and he shoots into the house at the 2 ATF agents that are in the home, right? And then they turn around, and when you slow down the footage, they show that 2 bullets come out of separate spots at the same time because they start shooting back at him, which means it's more than one person. It's just 2 men that went in there. You will later find out that those 2 ATF agents were bodyguards, right? During the Clinton's campaign. And they were ordered to be murdered, and they were murdered by their own man. So I'm going to need y'all to understand that the way that they do the shit that they do to us is never the way they project it onto the media. You're not supposed to even use your army against your own people. That's unconstitutional. But you use the tanker and you burnt down a fucking house with a bunch of kids and a bunch of women that you claim you were there to fucking save. It was never about arresting David Koresh. It was never about taking those people to freedom. It was about, look, they out here taking too much of a stance and we don't want people gathering like this, having their rights to bear arms, living off the land, being separate. Because let me tell you something else about America. I speak to Black people, but let me tell you something. This country eats its own. The government gives no fuck. They will kill us all and they give no damn. They just quicker to kill Black folks and not give a fuck about us and we're throwaway people. But they don't give a fuck about white trash motherfuckers either. They really don't. You are not allowed to stand against this government. So my question is, with all of that detailed, intricate lies, and they had the media show us one fucking thing when 90% of what the media showed us, 90% of it was cut out. And they told you a complete false story based on what really happened. So my question would be to y'all, do you really believe that if they wanted to orchestrate this story, if they wanted to have somebody kill that boy, they couldn't have done it? You don't believe that they wouldn't set them guys up to kill that boy and think that they could get money from it, and then as soon as they did it, turn around and throw them to the wolves because they knew Black people was going to want somebody to blame? So not only did they set it up to make Black people come and kill this brother, They also are going to take down black men for killing this brother. Again, how many times have we watched people in our community when we just talk about our leaders, when they want to take somebody out, how often do you see the police or white people just come get us? Or do they send our own people after us for a price? Shout out to you, Cammie. Thank you for that. So I just want us to keep these things in mind before we're so quick to believe everything. I don't give a fuck if they come up with the 15 pounds of weed. They say they found 12 pounds of weed. They say they found in his house. They could have got that weed out the motherfucking evidence room. Don't play with me. The gun they claim he might have had if they catch these other defendants might be a gun they just got the fuck out of the evidence room. Don't play with me, right? I believe nothing that they say. I believe nothing that they do. And I'm not going to buy this story either because we have bought too much fake and false shit in this damn country that they have done. You don't think if they will orchestrate something like the Waco, Texas, David Koresh, Branch Davidian murders where they murdered women and children and they was white that they won't fucking kill us like that? This is all lies. The media is nothing but propaganda. I don't believe this shit at all. Now, do I have any motherfucking proof that they lying? No, but do I have proof that the government and the police and everybody else are the biggest fucking liars to exist? Yeah, I know that. So I don't know, when somebody's such a liar, ain't you? Why are you so quick to believe liars? Or do we believe that our country doesn't lie to us or the police don't? And these motherfuckers had the nerve in the report to say some shit like, well, we would like these leaders in the black community to stop speculating, saying that the police did this because it's giving the Dallas PD a bad name. Are you serious? Police have always had a bad name. We don't fucking fuck with them. It's giving the police. Y'all already had a bad name. The fuck are you talking about? It's giving y'all a bad name. Y'all thought y'all had a good name with us before this? Fuck the motherfucking police. In every city, in every precinct, in every state. Fuck all of y'all gang members. We know what the fuck y'all is. We know the terrorists you are. We know you a gang member. When I see you coming, I do not get happy in this bitch. Oh, they coming to save us. No, I hide from you motherfuckers. I don't want to be bothered. Fuck the fucking police. Giving y'all a bad name. Y'all motherfuckers been had a bad name. Where y'all been that y'all don't see that shit? And you know, the more funny thing is that there are people, I just got finished getting my hair braided today. And the woman who braids my hair, she's worked for the sheriff's department, right? Oh, look, they mad up in here, y'all. Can y'all still hear me? If this go out, I'll be back. I'll be back. Let me see if we can work it out. Usually when they do this to me, they'll cut me off a second later. They be hating.
Ended that just in time.
Just that quick? You ended it like that?